Guys, today I'm working on custom countertops for the camper. Just because it's new doesn't mean you can't make it yours. I am clamping everything, getting it all ready to be sanded. I've already done the countertop, or the not the countertop, but the tabletop. It's done, and I'm going to match this to that, and then hopefully I'll be installing it by this weekend. I've got quite a bit of sanding to do and getting it prepped and ready to go. Plus, by the time you put polyurethane on here, you want it to air for a few days. But yeah, so that's today's project on my day off. This got a few days into it. Borrowed some clamps from the wood shop over here, which is really nice and handy. But yeah, I'll take you through this and tell you exactly what I've done, getting ready to belt sand it to level it all out and get it prettied up, and then I'll take the orbital sander to it and then move on to the burn. I'm going to actually do a burn and then a ready stain. It's a gun stock is what they call it. Should be really pretty. I'll round the front of the edges and stuff to where those aren't sharp or hurt too bad when you hit them. But anyway, change the design a little bit so that way I can, if I want to, I can put up a flip up counter extension on the end of it to where it gives us a little bit more counter space. But yeah, I'll take you through this process and see how it turns out at the end. How you doing, guys? Okay, today we are putting on the final touches to the countertop. So far everything's been wood doweled and glued together, so we don't have any screws in it. Edged it, which I'll throw up some pictures and a little bit of video I got about that. But we're actually going to put on about 7 coats of polyurethane on it since it is a countertop for the wear. As I'm putting it on, I actually have to sand in between each coat, make sure that just scuff it up so it'll hold on the next one, and then we actually turn around, and when this goes in, which I'll be videoing that entire install, we will actually be putting in cross braces, where normally a camper doesn't have the cross braces like a standard kitchen counter does. They just put them in there, and I understand why they do it, but we're going to actually put in cross braces in it to be able to screw it from underneath to draw it down to where it won't move. It levels everything out. It does have just a slight little warp to it right now, but that'll all come out as we actually install it and go around our edges and actually draw it down, which I'll go through all that tomorrow. I wanted to give you an update on what we're doing, and it's coming together really well. I like how the grain looked in this one. We did a light burn on it. It wasn't actually the Shoshone bond like some of them do. It wasn't that dark. I didn't want that. So what we're doing is I did a light burn on it, sanded it down to lighten it up even a little bit more, and then I turned around and put gun stock stain on it, and that brought a little bit of a reddish tinge to it. And then I'm doing the semi-gloss clear polyurethane over the top of that. It should give us a durable finish, and should actually turn out really nice. It's actually lighter than the countertop that's in there, which is just a plus. That's just a side plus, but it'll match our our tabletop that we did. So I'm going to go ahead and get another coat of polyurethane on this, let that dry. Like I said, we got to do a few more coats, and then we'll be ready to do the install. To give us more counter room, and we also put in a convection oven that I will show you at a sooner date. Be able to go through that also, which really makes it nice, because if you've actually cooked in your gas stove, we didn't have much luck at it. We actually did the stone tricks, where you can actually put the pizza stones in there and stuff. It helped, but it still was a little tougher, and we're not going to be cooking off grid, so we went with the electric and put in a small convection, which really worked out really nice. But anyway, so what we're going to end up doing today is concerned with this countertops. We'll work on getting everything taken out, and then I'll come back and show you the space without back. As you can see, I've actually taken the sink out and took the cooktop out. Have everything ready to bring back in the new countertop, and I'll do the mock-up just to make sure that everything's going to fit properly, that we got the angles right. That's a big one on this before I start tearing out the stock countertop. I want to make sure everything fits properly, and then I'll also mark where my sink hole is at on the new one, and make sure that I get that lined up the same way, and then we'll be ready to go. I can't think of anything else at this point in time really that's changed. Like I said, it's hard, you can't really see the valves that I installed on the sink, but I will show those to you before I actually put it back together, and with the PEX pipe, and makes it so much nicer to be able to shut off one area, just kind of like you do a residence, to where you don't have to take and shut down the entire home just to change out a faucet or something like that. You can actually just shut off that area, and all the rest of the water can still be used. That is a big deal. So yeah, now it's on to step 2, and I will bring in the new countertop, set it on top of it, and then we'll proceed from there. Okay guys, we have the mock-up is done. Everything's fitting good, it's all tight. I went ahead and I reached underneath and traced where the sink sets in, so we get all that lined back up, because you definitely want your plumbing underneath to line back up with the sink, so you don't cause yourself a lot more problems. If you want to change it, that's not a big deal, but you're going to be doing plumbing underneath of it, mainly with your drains. Everything else is actually flexible, but your drain line is not. So you want to make sure that that everything's squared that way, and you should be good to go. As far as the gas top, I'm actually going to make a cardboard cutout that we're actually, so because I'm going to move it a little bit. Your gas lines are flexible, so you can actually move that a little bit. I didn't like how it was sitting in there, so I'm going to change it up now, and then once it's actually where I want it to be at, I'll go ahead and cut the hole for that, and we'll drop it in, and that should get everything cleaned up a lot better, to where we don't have to worry about having things too close, fire too close to the wall, stuff like that. You just want to make sure you got plenty of clearances for safety reasons. That's the main thing. But so now we'll take this back outside. We will cut the holes for the sink and for the cooktop, and then we'll come. Okay, we are back. I actually got the old countertop out, and like I expected, it was basically all stapled in. Not a lot of security there. The drawers we had to refab and fix the supports on those, because there's one spot holding the drawer up. I don't think I would expect too much out of any of the campers that you're doing. I don't care what brand it is. Most of the time they're putting them together as quick as they can. So there's a lot of air staples in it. Very few screws, or they didn't hit studs. So anyway, so what I did is I actually put in new brackets back here to support the rear, and actually put them into studs. Did the same thing on the sides, and we had to go through and get all these staples out on the front, pulled out and taken out, so we can set the countertop, the new one, back on top of it. And then what I'll do is go through, once I get it all into place, I will screw it down from underneath to secure it. That way it's blind screwed and you cannot see anything. So I think other than that, we are actually ready to move on to the next step and put it in place. Okay guys, we have, as you can see, I've got both holes cut in, so we're ready to actually put the rest of it together. I have liquid nailed on the frame that you'd actually seen around this back edge here, and then I had got it clamped, letting it dry, but I did run screws up from the bottom side to hold everything down to where it's good and solid. And then so what we'll end up doing next is we'll put everything back in, secure everything, and then we will be ready to use clear silicone around your edges. That way you don't get any water or any food debris or anything down behind over time. And then we'll also run a clear silicone around the edge of the sink, of course, to keep any water from getting down into and underneath the sink area. We definitely don't want that. The install has probably taken about 2 hours total, I would say 2.5 hours total. Like I said, biggest thing is your angles, to make sure you get those straight and right on. So, but other than that, guys, everything else is going good. I will come back after I get the sink installed, and we are done. Everything's installed. We got the cooktop installed. Everything went together really well. I'm really pleased with it. We will be doing more how-to videos in the future. We actually will have one coming up that will be doing amp loads on the camper to be able to tell you exactly how much each thing is and show you how to do that. We're going to be painting cabinets, because we're going to be finishing off this the cabinets and getting that all done. And we're going to be turning a simple entertainment center into an actual surround sound entertainment center. That'll be coming in the future. But until then, we want to thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Helps us out a lot. Hit that bell, and we'll keep on giving you information.